Welcome back to another episode of the 1111 Matrix Code Revealed. As always, I'm your host, Garrett King. In today's episode, I want to show you two matrices that I have found within the Bible Code software that I thought were interesting. They relate directly with my own research with the 1111 Matrix Code. And I just think it's interesting, these words or phrases and these connections that I am finding within this software, and how it directly ties in to, again, my own research, which is the whole point of this is, looking at this software is trying to further validate the research that I've done with the 1111 Matrix Code and just trying to get some further, backing, validation in a sense of what has been revealed through the 1111 Matrix Code, and having it also revealed through the Bible Code is, I think it's substantial. I think it's pretty amazing to have it revealed here as well. You'll see what I mean here in just a moment. So let's go ahead and open up this first one. Now, the software that I used on this one is Advanced Bible Decoder Pro. That's the name of the software. And this is one that you have to purchase. It's roughly, I think, less than $60. I think most of these are less than 60. There is that one free program that I mentioned, the JLA, I can't remember what the rest of it was, something research. I can put the link in the show notes. I've already put the link in some of the comments from you guys who've asked about the software. So it is on there, but I can put it in the show notes. That's the one that I said was really extensive, and there's a lot to learn with that program. And I've looked at it off and on. One of the things I don't like about it is that it does not allow you to copy and paste words from Google Translate. It has this ridiculous on-screen keyboard that you have to type in, and the freaking letters are so small that you're not ever really quite sure which Hebrew letter you're clicking on, or if you're clicking on the right one. So yeah, that's one of the things I don't like about the software, and probably one of the biggest reasons I haven't used it very much. But Advanced Bible Decoder Pro, I've been using quite a bit. Keys to the Bible is another one, and I'm going to show you that one today here in just a second. And then, of course, Code Finder Millennium Edition is another one that I've been using. But the two major ones are Advanced Bible Decoder Pro and Keys to the Bible, okay? And they're both paid software. You have to pay to use them. Now, I do want to let you guys know in advance that Advanced Bible Decoder Pro, when you purchase it, you're only allowed to load it up onto one machine. You can't load it onto your desktop and then turn around and load it onto your laptop. If you want it on both machines, you're going to have to buy 2 copies. Yeah, that sucks. But Keys to the Bible, you purchase it once, and it's yours. You can load it onto as many machines as you want. Okay, now that we have that out of the way, let's go ahead and look at this one here. Now, this one doesn't describe the events to come. It sort of describes the events that have already happened or is currently happening. All right. Now, I didn't put a legend over here, but what I can do is when my mouse hovers over these words, these colored words here, the word will pop up in English, letting us know what the word is. So the one here in red is my name, Garrick. Okay, you can see it pop up there on the screen. It's probably small, and I apologize. I cannot increase the size of the software or zoom in. It's a Windows program, just doesn't allow me to do it. Okay, so vertically is Garrick. Down here, just a little bit below and over to the left in purple is my last name, King. Okay, so it found Garrick King. And then in yellow, we have the word delivers. Okay, so Garrick King delivers. And then up here in green, we have the word important. Okay, so this is the word important. So now we have Garrick King delivers important. And then this is what's interesting. Diagonally, here in blue, we have the word message. Okay? And then over here in this sort of sky blue color is the word mankind. All right? So think about that. Garrick King delivers important message mankind. Okay? It seems to be saying or suggesting that Garrick King, me, is delivering an important message for all mankind. All right? That's what I'm taking from it. And that seems to be, I mean, obviously what I've been doing with the 1111 matrix code. It's been revealing this message of this event, this future event in 2058. And it's for all mankind. Now, I just find it incredibly interesting and cool at the same time that my name, Garrick, okay, Garrick's not a common name, but that it appears in the Hebrew text of the Bible. And vertically, okay, going up and down across many lines of text. I just think it's extraordinary. So, and then for my last name, King, to show up, well, that's not so extraordinary because King appears in the Bible, I'm sure. I couldn't even tell you how many times, but it's in there a lot. So it's only understandable to me that, yes, my last name is going to show up. But having the two together, Garrick, King, in close proximity to one another, and then, of course, delivers important message mankind. It's very cool. Okay? Very cool. Spooky, but cool nonetheless. All right. So that's the first one. Now, the second one is from the program Keys to the Bible. Now, the more I work with this program, the more I like it. Now, what it's showing here on the screen when you first open up the software is it shows you the English Bible, the Hebrew Bible, and then the King James Bible side by side. Okay? Just, I guess, as reference. Now, this particular code I've already done, so I've saved it, and I've called it Jesus Return. And here it is on screen. So I did save a legend out for this one. Let me... I saved it to my desktop somewhere. Oh, never mind. I already have it open. Okay. So here's a screenshot I took. As you can see, if I move it over here, you can see it's the exact same matrix. Nothing has been added or changed. This is just a screenshot so I could put the words over here in English. Now, when I first started doing this matrix, what I did is I simply put in the name Jesus. Okay? That was it. And when it showed up right here, these two words, if you can see it on the screen here. So we have right here and over here, side by side, not not directly side by side, but they're on the, how do I explain this? They're close proximity to one another, and they are equally in the same spot, if that makes sense. So it starts on this line and goes down, and on this line and goes down. So they are directly across from one another. I guess that's the way I should have said it. They're directly across from one another. But what's interesting is the one on the left is reading from the bottom up, and the one on the right is reading from the top down. Why is that interesting? Well, there's two things that make this super interesting to me, at least. When I did the search for Jesus, and that was the only word that I had searched, and these were the only two words showing up at the time, as I was looking at it on screen, I literally thought to myself, I'm looking at a representation of the number 11. Okay? Because they're running vertically, up and down. And they're directly across from one another. It's not like this one over here on the right is a few letters down, and so it's sort of adjacent. No, it's directly across. They're directly across from one another. So yeah, that was the first thing that ran through my mind. I'm looking at a representation of the number 11. Now, the other thing that popped into my head was, since this one on the left is reading from the bottom up, and this one on the right is reading from the top down, it's another representation of the phrase, the beginning is the end, and the end is the beginning. Okay, so if we look over here at the right, this is the beginning letter. So the beginning is the end over here. All right, and then over here, we have the end is the beginning. See how that works? Because the words are flipped. So we have one going the right direction and the other one going the other direction. They've swapped, like they've switched directions. One of them has switched directions. So again, it's another representation of the phrase, the beginning is the end and the end is the beginning. Now, one of the cool things about this program, Keys to the Bible, is, and this is the actual program itself, it's not the screenshot that I just had up, but what you can do is when you have done a search for a word, then there's a button up here and it's called Identify Word, okay? And I've got it brought up right here. So what this will do is it will automatically identify words that are around your main search word, okay? And you can choose whether to do, like, for it to search in all directions, horizontal, vertical, or let me rephrase this. So you can choose all directions, only horizontal, only vertical, or only diagonal. Or you can choose to select all of those at the same time. Then you can choose whether you want 3 letters in a word, 4 letters or more in a word, and 5 letters or more in a word. So yeah, 3 letters or more, 4 letters or more, or 5 letters and more. And then you can choose the distance between the letters. So whether you want just one separate letter, so like this word right here, running up and down in this light purple, this is the word for smote. And as you can see, there's a skip of 1, okay? So we have a letter, it skips, we have a letter, it skips, and we have a letter. So we can choose just 1, 5 and less, 10 and less, or any distance, okay? So any distance from one another. Then what you can do is you can choose the color of the identified word, whether you want it to show up as purple, blue, green, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then the shape of the identified word, and that's the shape that's going around it. So you can see here we have an oval or a square or a diamond shape, et cetera, et cetera. And then you can choose the words A through E, F through J, K through O, P through T, and U through Z. Okay? So that way it doesn't show you like every single word A through Z on the screen. You can kind of narrow it down just a little bit. So you can just click like this one here, PQRST, hit search, and which we'll do here in just a moment. And then it'll go through and find words that show up in this matrix that we're looking at that are relatively close. And there are a couple that stand out that I really want to show you. So let's go back to my screenshot here real quick, and I just want to show you the words. So again, as I said, I searched for Jesus. It came up twice vertically. And then I did the searches that I just mentioned, where it goes through and identifies words. Look at the words that it found, and there was a lot more, but these are the words that fit in with what I'm searching. So it found the word waiting. Okay. Now keep in mind, I've been talking about this event in 2058, and the only way that we're going to know is to simply wait it out. It's a long time to wait. And so that's what we're doing, is we're waiting. We're waiting. And that's the word we have right here in this light blue. It's the word waiting. Now, directly below it in purple is the word upheaval. Okay? Upheaval. That's something that we've talked about. So if this event does take place in 2058, when it takes place, there's going to be a tremendous amount of upheaval. Okay? I've talked about, the government possibly building the DUMBs, the deep underground military bases, which we know they already exist, but that the purpose of them building them is for this event. And if it's, a solar flare type event, that they won't be able to take everybody underground. And so that's going to create a lot of upheaval, a lot of chaos. Okay, now down here, and it's running through the words, or both words for, of Jesus, okay? In green is the word return, okay? Return. Now, I've already mentioned this before, but if it is a solar flare event so if it is a solar flare event and we look at the sun in the sky as being the Son of God, okay, not S-O-N, but actually S-U-N, that if it is a solar flare event that takes place, it would be like the second coming of Jesus Christ, which makes this even more interesting that Jesus appears on screen twice. It's like we have the first arrival, and then we have the second arrival, his return. Okay? So that's green going right across here on the screen. My cursor is not very big, so hopefully you can see where I'm pointing, but it's right here, running across. Okay, so we have the word return. Now, very interesting, between the two words of Jesus is the word simulation. Okay, literally, folks, no joke, simulation. We've talked about this being a simulation, a false reality. And interesting that it would appear directly between the two words of Jesus. All right. Now, also directly between the two words of Jesus, in this darker purple, is the year 2058. It's right here, 2058. What are the chances of that, folks? I mean, think about it. What are the chances of that? Now, on the right side of this Jesus that's on the right is the word prophet. Okay? The word prophet. And then interestingly, on the other side of the other Jesus is the word smote. Okay? Smote. So, smote or smite, the meaning of that word, and there's a couple of meanings here, but to inflict a heavy blow on, with, or as if with the hand, a tool or a weapon. Okay? Think about that. The way that I described a solar flare reaching out from the sun and smacking the shit out of the planet Earth would be like this hand of God. And that's what it's saying, to inflict a heavy blow as with the hand. Okay? It also means to drive or strike a weapon, for example, forcefully onto or into something else. Okay? And then the last definition is to attack, damage, or destroy by or as if by blows. Okay? So like repeated blows of a weapon, repeated blows of it, like a solar flare over and over. I mean, it could mean so much. But I just think it's interesting that we have that word right next to the name Jesus with simulation, the year 2058, the words return, upheaval, and waiting. Okay? It's all describing the event that I've been talking about in 2058. I mean, accurately describing exactly everything that I've said. Now, let's jump over to the program where it searches for words on its own. Now, this is what I want to show you. So I'm going to go ahead and hit, let's see, what do I want to do? Let's go ahead and just hit search. Okay, so already it's found 530. Okay, and it's already highlighted one of them. But let's bring... Actually, I'm going to have to do something in order for that. There's a little glitch in this program. There we go. With this Windows program working within Mac. So sometimes, I don't know, there's some sort of screen issue, and sometimes it causes this window to not display correctly. Okay, so I have to switch it over to straight up Windows. Okay, so here are the extra words that it found, and there's a couple in particular that I want to show you. I'm just going to scroll through these relatively quick. Okay, so here is where it found the word simulation. Okay, so you can see it highlighted in red. Okay, now the way that it found these words is there's already a built-in dictionary. It's a Hebrew dictionary. It's already built in. Okay, so these words were already set up in the dictionary, and the program found them. All right, so it found simulation right there. Now I'm going to scroll down. There's a lot of words it found. Let's see. There's a couple in particular. Okay. It found one instance of the word solar. Okay. Think about that. Solar. We're talking about the sun. We're talking about a summer solstice solar eclipse, solar flare, So it did find the word solar. And look at this. The word solar is directly running through the name for Jesus. Okay? So it's this letter, this letter, this letter, and this letter. Okay? It's literally using one of the letters in the name for Jesus. And we get the word solar. And think about that connection, folks. We're talking about the Son of God, Jesus, not being S-O-N, but S-U-N. And here we have solar running right through his name. All right. Now, it also found multiple instances for the word sun. S-U-N. And I'm going to show you some of these. Okay, so this is the first one. So it found the word sun right here. It found it again down here in red. Now, I want to point something out here, folks. Look very closely, if you can, at the letters for sun. Okay? And look at the last three letters in the word simulation. Okay? They're exactly the same. Exactly the same letters. So the word sun is actually contained within the word simulation. Really, really driving that connection home. Okay? So, going to click here. It's found again up here, and this time there's a skip of 2 letters in between. It's found down here again, crossing over both names of Jesus. Okay. It's found further down here, and there's a much bigger skip, okay, between the letters. It's found right here with no skip, and this time it's appearing on the same line and within the word for upheaval. Okay, that's again very interesting. And then, of course, it's showing it being found right here between this Jesus and this Jesus. Okay, it's found right between the 2 names of Jesus and within the word simulation. I mean, folks, that's pretty damn deep if you ask me. Okay? And it found it again over here. I mean, it found it multiple times. But that one in particular, where it shows up right here, and that's why I didn't mark it, because I've already marked the word simulation. And then if I mark the word sun on top of it, it would cause it to get confusing on screen as to what we're looking at here. But I just think that's extraordinary that the word sun is appearing between the 2 names Jesus and appearing within the word simulation. All right. And again, you have to stop and think too, what are the chances that the year 2058 was going to show up? And it does. It literally does. Now, how did I arrive at these 3 letters being the year 2058? Well, let's look at that very quickly. So when you use the program Code Finder, let's just go ahead and open it up. And we're going to open the Hebrew version of the Bible. There's a tool here, and it's called Hebrew Number Converter. Okay? shows up right here. And we simply type in 2058. And as you can see, it put the letters for 2058 because back in this time, they didn't have a number system like we do today 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They used the letters to represent the numbers. So that's what it's doing. It's converting the Hebrew or converting the numbers from their numerical form to the converted Hebrew form. So this is 2058. It's these 3 letters. And it's these 3 letters here on the screen. How freaking cool. And again, it's just this idea that it's validating what I've been saying. I mean, we're talking about this waiting. That's what we're having to do. We're having to wait, the upheaval. Talking about Jesus's return. Talking about this all being a simulation, a false reality. This event taking place in 2058. The word prophet, the word smote. I mean, it's just extraordinary. It truly is. All right, that's pretty much all I have this time. I'm still digging around with these programs, still learning them, the best that I can. I'm just super stoked to see what else I find. I have done a couple of other searches, non-related, but I just wanted to show you this because it does seem to relate directly to the 1111 matrix code. And to me right now, that's what's the most important, is just having that research validated in a sense, and finding it in the Bible. I mean, it's pretty extraordinary. It truly is. So, yeah. Okay, that's all for now. And until next time, I hope everyone takes care. I am feeling better. Thank you to those who reached out and asked how I was doing. I appreciate it very, very much. For those who didn't know, I had a kidney infection or bladder infection. It was just causing a lot of issues, but they put me on an antibiotic, and within a couple of days, I started feeling better, and now I'm back to 100%. So all good here. All right, so until next time, everybody take care, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.